Hello and welcome to this simplest format of accounts for anyone, the simplest possible based on a mobile device. Now we're going to spend the next 1 hour reviewing the recording of 9 source documents commonly used by small businesses, and we present a few reports. Now, this very simple format is based on our accounting app available on Google Play and iTunes. And then one other thing you need to bear in mind that the profit or the tax being paid and recorded in this scenario does not depend on the profit. Okay, so tax is assessed by an assessor, and then secondly, there are no credit transactions. Now, in this 1 hour period, we're going to look at the app overview. What facilities are available in the app and what can we modify? We'll look at the recording of money capital invested by the owner. We'll look at the recording of a loan received by the business. Many small businesses start with loans. We'll look at the recording of a cash sale, the recording of a cash expense, and then a quick look at the dashboard, which is an overview or summary of the whole business. We'll look at the recording of a cash deposit and withdrawal. How do we record cash taken from the business? How do we record tax paid? And then we'll look at the profit and loss account and balance sheet, plus a few reports. And then how are they printed and named? Because we're going to use the same mobile device to print and name them, generating PDFs. And then finally, we conclude in the 12th session. Thank you. A quick overview of the app and settings we can modify. This app is available on App Store or iOS or iPhone as Tax Return Without Bookkeeping, and it should be on Android as Accounting Simplified. It's still going through the propagation process, but this is what it should be found as on Android. Now let's have a quick look at the device. This is what it is like. It's listed among the other applications. So we click on that app and there it comes. We start with the side menu, set the business name. Now we're going to type in Market Stall is going to be our demo. Market Stall. Market Stall. Now it comes with a financial year of April. We're going to change it to January. Let's say our financial year is starting in January 17. Okay, let's scroll this to January, and that is 2017. We set that. Now you realize this has changed. We click update, and that is done. Okay, now next, let's have a look at a few features we can modify. Now in the side menu here, we can set the recording date. Now most of our transactions are going to be in March. That is according to our demo document. Now this is 30th April. Okay, let's change it to March. Let's change it to March. I think we scroll left or up or down. Okay, this is March. Any date here. Let's put it at 30th. Put it at 30th and we set that. Okay, we click update. So any of the recording forms will come with the date and we don't have to spend time on that. So those are the quick features in the side menu. Okay, now let's look at the main menu here. We've got a dashboard. Now these are buttons leading to forms and reports. This is a report, this is a report, this is a form. We're going to look at that quickly. All these are forms. And then this is the chart of accounts, periodic tasks and reports, mini year-end reports, checklist. We'll look at those later. Now these are tax adjustments. These are not relevant in the simplest format. Year-end adjustments, not relevant in the simplest format. Now creditors, not relevant in the simplest format. Debtors, not relevant in the simplest format. And then after that, we've got reports. Now I need to mention that we're going to add loans and credit card facilities there. Going to become number 7. Let me show you what it looks like on another application. Let's see what we have here in this app here. All right, yeah, it's here as module number 10, loans and credit cards. So we shall have forms for recording loans, loans repaid, credit cards, and so on. So let's go back to our app, and this is our app. So that's a very quick overview of the app we are going to use to illustrate that anyone can do the simplest form of bookkeeping, the simplest form of bookkeeping using this app. Thank you. This is a quick recording of money invested by the owner, which is known as capital. So this is going to be our source document, which is a receipt. So we get to our device. Now in this case, let's rotate the device and bring it a bit closer. Now the form we're going to use is in 2 miscellaneous, and that form is a 2-entry form. Now the date has come as 30th March, and okay, we're going to start with the document number. That's going to be, this should be document number 1. Document number 1. Okay, that's document number 1. All right, now this is owner's capital. Let's call it capital. Capital, the amount is 400. 400. Now the account 2. Let's see. The account 2 is the bank account. So we're looking for the bank account. We type bank in there, bank, and we're looking for the first bank account. Now let's scroll down. That's bank 1, 205, and then that money is going to come from capital added. So we're going to type in capital added. It's there. There we are. So we are ready to save this. Document number 1, month 3. We save and close. Okay, that is done. Remember, we're not checking what is done in this very quick format. We're not checking that. Thank you. In this session, we'll look at the recording of a loan borrowed and repayment. Many people do borrow money for their businesses. So let's get quickly to the device and record this. Now let's try to ensure they all fit in our recording screen. This one should come down here, and this one moves up here. Okay, now we're going to use a 2-entry form. Now we are supposed to have a specific loan recording form, but then it's not yet here. We said it's supposed to be as module 7, but we're going to use a 2-entry form. Remember, this 2-entry form can be used for any kind of transaction. So where is the loan coming from? It's coming from the loan company, and that's going to be loan 1. This account can be customized. We name the account. So that is going to be loan 1. Do we have it? No. Put a 1 there, and that's loan 1, account 225. And that money ends up on the bank account. It ends up on the bank account. That's where they deposit the money, and that's where we get it from. So that is going to be bank 1. That should be account 225. Account 205. There we are. So from bank 1, so from loan 1 to account 1. What's the amount? 1,200. Okay, narration is going to be loan. And then on the right here, it's going to be document number 2. Document number 2. Okay, based on this one. And we are ready to save. Now we're going to save and next, because we need to record that loan repayment there. Okay, save and next. Okay, that is saved, and next we're going to record the loan repayment. Let's say it's at the end of the month. Just this is a quick overview. Now loan repayment. Okay, the amount is 130. That amount should be coming from the bank account. It is set up and then going to the loan account. So we're going to have account 2045 or bank 1 here. We're going to have, no, the top one is 2. It's going to loan 1. That is loan 1. That's the 1. And then it's coming from bank 1. Now bank 1, that's where it's coming from. The 1 should be immediately there. Yes, bank 1 is 205 and the amount is 130. Let's say loan repaid. Okay, we scroll to the right here, and that's document still number 2. Document number 2. That's it, and we save and close. That's it. Let's have a quick look at how many transactions we've recorded so far. Scroll down. Very quick one, transaction edit. To check the transactions recorded, we have got transaction 1, 2, and 3. That's good. Okay, now that's done for this task. In this session, we simply look at the recording of a cash sale. This should be our source document. Let's get to our device quickly. All right, let's click that. It's still rotated. That's a landscape layout. Okay, now we're going to use the all income form. That's form number 1. Form number 1 comes with the date. Cash income is there. Now all the income is going to this account. The amount is 33,500, and it's document number 3. Now what happens is some of the forms generate the document numbers. So we copy the document number from here onto this one. And we have done that, and we are ready to save. Save and close. And that's done. There's nothing else to do about this. In this session, we're looking at the recording of the cash expense and then have a quick overview of the business basing on what we have recorded so far. That is the dashboard. So we get our device here. Now we're going to use form number 2. Form number 2 is designed specifically for that. It comes with the date. The accounts are already selected, and if this payment is made by cash, the account is already selected. Now it's document number 4, which agrees with this one. Otherwise, we copy from there, and then we just type in the amount 13,920. There we are. We click on the device and save and close, and that's it. Now what we're going to do now, let's tilt our device and we look at the dashboard. Let's drag it down here. We are going to look at the dashboard. Now this dashboard is a summarized, it has got about 3 reports, 3 summarized reports. Let's expand our display. There is 3 summarized reports. Okay, let's drag this down here. Yes, it has accepted, and then we pinch what is in here. So the income recorded so far is 33,500, the expenses is 13,920, and the profit is that. In seconds, we don't have to spend lots of time. Now this tax and income update, really this one applies to the UK. Let's ignore that. Let's ignore that. Let's ignore that. Let's look at the balance sheet. Let's look at the balance sheet. Balance sheet is universal. Balance sheet is universal. So the bank balance is 1470. Cash balance is 19. Current assets is that. Then current liabilities. Okay, well, net current liabilities is that. Long-term liabilities is that 1070, and then we come down here, the capital added, we got the net profit and loss, then the closing capital. Now this one agrees with that one, and that's about it. So this is a dashboard. It gives a quick overview of the whole business basing on what has been recorded so far. Thank you. We look at the recording of a cash deposit and withdraw. Very quick. So let's get to our device. Now we are assuming that you can understand and interpret this document. Now the cash deposit, we've got a special form, which is form number 3. Form number 3. Now it indicates the cash from and, sorry, the account from and the account to. Now this money is coming from cash and going to bank. So bank is pre-selected. Now below here, we're going to select cash. Okay, let's bring down our device below. Now we're going to type in cash. Cash, there it is, there we are. And now we're going to type in the amount. The amount is 15,180. 15,180. It's overshadowing here. Okay, yeah, 15,180, that's right. And then we're going to call it, we modify this narration. We remove what is at the end here. This is supposed to be, God, should cover this one. Okay, now we should delete that. We should delete that. Sorry, there. Get into them. close. Clicking the wrong button. It should be a withdraw. It's taking long. I wanted to do this in very few minutes. Okay, cash withdraw. All right, we're now ready to save. We're ready to save, so let's drag this and we're going to see the save and close button here. Save and close. It's a very simple process. And now below here we're going to record a withdraw. Now this is a withdraw from the bank into cash, into the cash box. So we're going to use the same form number 3. Now the money is coming from bank. Selected is going to cash. So we're going to type in cash here, cash there, and what is the amount? The amount is 120. 120. Good. It's messing up a little bit. And then I'm going to modify this narration. Modify this narration. You know, when you combine technologies, times there are clashes. So let's backspace this. Yeah. Okay. Now we've got the withdraw there. It's document number 7, not 6. So we change that one to 7, and that's it. And then we click save and close. There we are. And that's the end of recording a cash deposit and withdrawn. Thank you. Next, we look at the recording of cash taken from the business for personal use. Here we've got a payment voucher. That's what we're going to extract the information from. So we get to our device below here, and we're going to use form number 4, cash for the owner. Okay, now where is the money coming from? The money is coming from the bank account. From the bank account, it's received in cash form. So it's coming from the bank account. We select bank below here. That is bank there, and the amount is 12,000. 12, 1, 2, 3. There we are. The rest is done for us. So we click save and close. Save and close. That's it, and that's done. Next, we look at the recording of cash taken from the business for personal use. Here we've got a payment voucher. That's what we're going to extract the information from. So we get to our device below here, and we're going to use form number 4, cash for the owner. Okay, now where is the money coming from? The money is coming from the bank account. From the bank account, it's received in cash form. So it's coming from the bank account. We select bank below here. That is bank there, and the amount is 12,000. 12, 1, 2, 3. There we are. The rest is done for us. So we click save and close. Save and close. That's it, and that's done. Next, we'll look at the recording of a tax paid. Now, this tax is not based on the amount of profit made by the business. The amount of profit is different. Now, in some countries, tax is determined by a tax assessor who goes around and says so and so should pay so much. So that is what we have in this very simplified format. If it's based on tax, based on profit, then it's a slightly different scenario. So we've got an amount of 1,500. So let's look here among their end. So we scroll down. There should be a form here. No, it's in tax adjustments. Now scroll down. That is final tax paid here. This should be the form to use for this kind of recording. However, we're going to use a versatile form, a multi-purpose form, and that is the 2-entry form. Now this 2-entry form, here we can say that this is a year-end adjustment. It's not part of, let's see. It really doesn't matter whether it's a year-end adjustment or not. It really doesn't matter. So let's leave it among the rest of the transactions because it's a tax paid. We just want to see the impact on the other records. Now, where is this money coming from? It's coming from the bank account. So we're going to select bank below here. Bank 1. Remember, we can rename this account to whatever we want. and then this is going to be tax paid. Now let's click up here. Let's see tax paid. Do we have tax paid? Yeah, okay, yeah, let's go for that one. And then the amount is 1,500. 1,500. Let the narration be tax paid. Narration is the explanation, and the document number is going to be 9. Click on the device and we are ready to save and close. That's it. Okay, thank you. Next, we look at the profit and loss account and the balance sheet. The objective really is to see how much profit was made by the business, and that is the aim of many small businesses. They don't do this for tax purposes, they do this to find out how much profit they're making. And then, what is the value of the business? What is the value in the business? That is on the balance sheet. However, we shall start by reviewing what we have recorded. Let's have a look at these documents on Excel. Now, this one was the owner's investment. This was borrowed money, and that was the loan repayment for the first month. Then below here, we have an income for the whole year of 33,500. We've got reselling stock for the whole year of 13,920. And note that even if this document has got VAT, we ignore that because this is a small business that is not VAT registered. Then we look at a deposit slip of 15,000. We look at a cash withdrawal of 120. Let's do this. And then we look at personal cash taken from the business, an amount of 12,000. That is their income, an average of 1,000 per month. And then we'll look at a tax paid of 1,500. So now let's go to our device and have a look. Now to look at these reports, I think we need to rotate our device to the portrait. All right, now before we do that, we've got what we call periodic tasks. Those are not important at this stage. We've got a mini year-end reports checklist. I think we're going to use this one. All right, okay, before we get into there, let's look at a brief look at the transactions we have recorded. This is what we have recorded from transaction number 1. No, these are document numbers. These are document numbers. And then on the right here, we've got the transaction numbers. We've got the transaction numbers we have recorded. 9 transactions. Basically, these can be edited. You click the edit button, or you can delete in case it should not be there. And please note that each of the facilities we have has got a guide. Now, this one has got 2 guides. Okay, we're going to see that. Now let's go back to one of the recording forms. For example, the income form, there is a guide here. Okay, how to go about the process. Some brief explanation. So let's go back to our mini year-end reports checklist. Now, this year-end reports checklist is designed for the small business that is not VAT registered. And we think that this list of between 30 and 40 reports would be sufficient. A sizable business that is registered for VAT as a sole trader in the UK should be generating about 80 reports. Now, those 80 reports, let's have a very quick look at them. Those 80 reports, we've got a checklist here. Now, these are periodic reports. Let's have a quick look at these. Okay, these are the periodic tasks. It's a reminder of what should be done periodically. It's a reminder, and we've got 33 tasks, and then the ones you see in blue are reports. Let's have a quick look at these periodic reports before we continue. Periodic reports, click on reports there, and then period reports. We have got 17 period reports here. When you get the application, please take time to look at that. Now let's come back to miscellaneous here and look at the big reports checklist for a VAT registered business. So we are going to scroll down, and each of these blue underlined is a button to a report. For example, if you want to go to the final year, final trial balance, you click C. That's report C1, and that should be generated here. That should be generated here. We've got a year-end adjustment of 1,500 there. That was a tax paid. We said it shouldn't be a year-end adjustment. We shall have to change that anyway. But anyway, it doesn't really affect our reports. Let's go back. Okay, now this is the big year-end reports checklist that has got about 80 reports. Okay, that's what it looks like. When you get up on your device, please, you can navigate through this list. Now, this is what the professional accountant prepares. This is what the professional accountant prepares, and we have put it on your device. All right, that one is about 80 reports. Now, let's go back and have a look at our mini year-end reports checklist. Now, this one is for the small business that is not VAT registered, whose reporting is a little bit limited. Now, in the UK, of course, we prepare a tax return. Let's look at this one. This would be the figures copied from here and entered onto the tax return before it's sent to the Revenue Authority. So this is what it would look like. You just copy the figures from there. Now let's go back. Probably not gone to the right place. Should have used the wrong button. I should have used the return button at the bottom here, that return button. Anyway, we are back to our mini year-end reports checklist. Now, basically what we need to see here is the profit and loss account and balance sheet. This is a very brief training. Now let's see, very brief training. We're looking at the profit and loss account. This is what it should look like. This is what it should look like. Now let's try to expand this for better display, and we drag this down as well. So this is what it should look like. We've got the turnover there, we've got the cost of sales, we've got the gross profit. Now all the expenses should be inside there with this simplified format. All the expenses should be inside. So the gross profit is the same as the net profit. Ideally, that is a profit made by the business. And that's the profit and loss account. Now let's use our return button. We now need to go to the balance sheet. The balance sheet. What is the value of the business? What do we have in the business? What do we have in the business? So we're now pinching. Now there is room to compare with the previous year. We are not considering that. Let's drag this up. Now if you can note that the name we typed in at the beginning and the financial year do appear on each and every report. Now these are two balance sheets because one of them is for the most recent year and the other one is for the previous year. So let's scroll down. Let me see, there are no fixed assets up there. We've got a bank balance of 3,000. We've got a cash balance of 4,000. Let's make it a little bit bigger. That's what it is. So the current assets is 7,550. And then loans and hire purchases. You remember that loan that we borrowed of 1,200 and 130 was paid. So this is the balance. Now this is the capital which was added at the start of 400. So the net profit on the profit and loss account appears here as well. So this is the effect of tax paid. The tax paid reduces the owner's money in the business, and of course this is drawings. Now drawings normally should be part of the profit made in the year. So we are saying that during this year the effect on capital has been 6,480. And remember, we don't have opening capital. We don't have opening capital. We've not covered that in this very crash accounting, which anybody can have a look at. In case of any questions, then please send us an email. Thank you. Next, we'll look at the printing and naming of reports. Now, before us, we've got a list of about 40 reports, both highlighted in yellow and the ones which are not highlighted. Now, basing on the transactions, we've recorded about 10 documents, 9 to 10 documents, and the ones highlighted in yellow are the ones affected by those documents. Okay, so let's count. 1, 2, this is about 5, 8, 10. That's 13, 15, 17, 20 reports. 20 reports affected by only about 10 transactions. Okay, now in the minimal sense, we should print a profit and loss account and balance sheet, and then probably the notes to the profit and loss account. That's a B1, a B2, and B4 in the minimal sense. But otherwise, these other reports are helpful in helping us explain what happened, if we need to explain to anybody, that is it. And then, well, they give some detail of what really happened. Now, the advantage with this app is that you don't have to spend any time preparing these reports. If you decide that you really need them, simply click the button and print out. Now we can keep these reports in soft form, in soft copy, but then anything could go wrong. So it's best that they are printed out in hard copy and filed. Now what we're going to do is to generate a PDF, which we can illustrate here, and then send that PDF onto a printer. We can't illustrate that other process, but at least the PDF generation we can illustrate. We can illustrate that. So we could probably start with the drawings accounts at the bottom. Let's have a look at T4. Okay, let's get to our device now. This is our device. Now we go to our mini year-end reports checklist. Now T4 is probably, we scroll down. T4 is probably T3 because of the modification scattered for the small and simpleness. So let's look at this T3. Now essentially this account shows all the transactions on the drawings account for the whole year. So we click print PDF, printer discovery. Okay, we need to click on this one. We want to save it as a PDF, and there we are. We click PDF, and now it's ready to save it as whatever. Now what we're going to do is to scroll, to push this up. Now we must determine where we want to save it. Now let me see the options that I have. I've got internal storage and the SD card. If my Wi-Fi was on, I would have the Google Drive as well. So I'm going to save it on the SD card, and I'm going to create a new folder for this. And I'm going to call this folder Market Stall 2017, assuming that's it for this year. There we are. So now they're going into that one, and the report we are printing now is okay, let's say it's T4. So we click on this one, and then delete that one, and then type our T. It's a T3 or T4. Let's call it a T4. Doesn't matter. And then we click save. Now at some stage we're going to check on these reports. Now let's go back. We click back, and then let's go to the next account. Now we don't have a lot of time to print all these 20 reports. I'm just going to print 3 or 4. If you need to go through the process, then you need to enroll on the next quick course. So we're going to look at the notes to financial statements, which is B3. Let's click this one. So these are the detailed balances that do appear on the profit and loss account and the balance sheet. So we're pinching this. So we've got note 13, note 21. It's not too big. Now we're going to print. We're going to create a PDF from this one. Click the drop down, save as PDF, and that is report B4. So we click PDF here, and then here we delete this, and we type B4, and we click save. That's it. So we now have 2 reports. Now we click back here, and then we click B2. Yes, B2 is a balance sheet. Now this is a balance sheet here. We did have a look at this earlier on. So we click print PDF. Then we click the drop down, save as PDF. We get a preview, click the PDF button. Now this is going to be B2. Click there. Remember the PDF has got to stay there, otherwise we get something else which is not a PDF. So we click save. Then we click back and we're going to print our final report, which is B1, which is the profit that is of interest to each and everyone who runs a business. Okay, click print PDF and okay, save as PDF there. So we should have a PDF displayed. There we are, PDF button. And now, so this is what we've generated as PDF so far. So we're adding the final one, which is B1. B1, that's B1. We save. So we've generated 4 PDFs. And let's go back. That's it. Now what we're going to do, the very last task is to have a quick look at the reports we have prepared. Now we're going to other parts of this mobile device. Now we click, I think, this home button. This home button will take us to, we click on apps. Now we need to be here. Of course, it depends on how many apps you have on your device. Now we're going into Samsung. Other devices are not Samsung. It varies. So I click this one and I go to my files. Now I've clicked twice. I should have clicked once. So I've got to go back one step. Let's drag this here. Now here we've got to click all the files. I'm going to all the files and I'm going to SD card. Cancel. Now do I have my folder in here? The folder we created was Market Store 2017. Now they are 2. Which one was created today? Let's see the one that has got only four reports. Double click that. Yes, these are the 4. The other one was created yesterday. Don't worry. So we're going to look at only one of them in PDF format. Full PDF format on, will it come on a laptop? No, it won't. We're going to look at that on a laptop quickly. So let's use this one to view it on the device. This is what it looks like. Now, since this device is connected to the computer, we're going to look at a normal size PDF. Now, let's see, we're going to click here and we double click this Galaxy Note, and then we've saved on the card. Then we hope this is the right, no, this is the older folder. So ours is MKT. We're going to look at B1, which is the profit and loss account in normal PDF size on the laptop. This is 75%. Let's see if we can go pinch it down. Okay, let's reduce the percentage here. 50% on a laptop. This is what it looks like. So this is what comes out of those 9 transactions, 9 documents that we recorded. This is a professional report. We don't need the services of an accountant. You can do it. You can do it. This is report B1. Okay. Now let's close this one very quickly. Let's go back to our market, our Explorer here. We're going to look at the balance sheet very quickly in normal size PDF. Normal size PDF, and let's reduce the size to 50%. And we drag it on the left. So this is what the balance sheet looks like. If those 10 documents were taken to an accountant, this is what they would generate for you. So with this app, you're able to do it by yourself. Who do you need to present the balance sheet to? That is the question. Well, we have seen how to record this, and probably the very last thing we should do on our device. Let's go back. The very last thing we should do on our device is to print a checklist of the reports. Let's click this. Shall we get there? We want this one. To print a checklist of the reports that should be generated. Now we're going to compare that with this one here. So let's drag this to the left. Going to drag. Okay, now we come to our mini year-end reports checklist. This is our checklist. Now we're going to pinch this to see more stuff. Going to pinch this to see more stuff. Now we want this one. Now ideally, like I mentioned, all these reports highlighted in yellow have been generated by the app, but we need to indicate what we have printed. So we have printed B1, printed B2, printed B3, and then we printed, it was T3. Let it be T3 at the bottom. You see there's a slight differentiation between this mini year-end reports checklist and the normal one. On the normal one, it should be a T4. And then we click save. Now, when we click save, that means when we open this checklist again, we shall find them. So we can create a PDF for this one as well, because it's going to be printed and filed together with the others. So we click on this, save as PDF. And this is a preview. This is a preview, and the final task is generating the PDF. Generating the PDF, and this is going to be, it's going to be the mini. Okay, we can call it a year-end checklist. It doesn't matter. Year-end checklist. And we save that. And well, that brings us to the end of this session where we looked at the printing and naming of report. Thank you. Next is a conclusion of this quick course of simplified accounting, or simplest accounting for anyone who is interested. You don't need to spend years learning accounts. Simple accounts for a small business with simple reporting. A few hours on a mobile device and you are done. So we're reviewing what has been covered, look at other quick features and the way forward. Now, what we have covered has been, we've looked at the app overview and the settings, the recording of money capital invested, recording of a loan, cash sales, cash expenses, and we looked at the dashboard, cash deposit and withdraw, personal cash from the business, tax paid. We looked at the profit and loss account, balance sheet, and a few other reports. We also looked at the printing and naming of reports. If you went through this more than once, you'd get it better in your head. Now, below here, we've got a few features we feel that are necessary for you to perform this simplified accounting. For example, you should be able to install the app. Okay, of course, you've got to purchase it on Google Play or iOS. Now, this training is free, but the app, you got to pay some money. And of course, you pay once, probably for life. At the moment, you pay only once. You pay only once. And then you get free updates whenever we update. And our updates are pretty frequent. Now, we should also know how to record a sales and expenses refund, how bank reconciliation is done, probably get an idea between cash and traditional accounting. Just get an idea about that. How would you record opening balances? Because businesses are continuous. We do have opening balances at some stage. Now, the recording of opening balances in the main ledger is different from the recording of opening balances for creditors. We would look at that. We'll look at creditors' facilities, debtors' facilities. We'll look at the cash register. Yes, that one is available. Then we look at closing stock, whether we should have closing stock or not, depending on whether it's cash or traditional accounting. We'll look at the chart of accounts. We've got about 300 accounts. Each account has got a specific purpose. Of course, in the simplest format, you use only very few accounts. And then how do we correct transactions, delete transactions? How do we back up what we have done in case we need to prepare for eventualities, in case the phone breaks down, is at the end of the records. So how do we backup? Where do we store the backup? And how do we transfer that backup to another device? And then, of course, we also need some records to compare how the performance in the current year has been in regard to the previous year. We compare at least 2 years, some basis of comparison, and then we look at the accounting cycle, and finally we look at the other reports. If you're happy with that, then you should probably enroll for Simplified Accounting, which is also free. It's got about 41 videos that last about 9 to 10 hours. Yeah, we cover a bit more. We look at the impact of transactions on various reports on a monthly basis. We look at quarterly reports, and we look at the year-end reports as well. Now, beyond this one, we have got a complete course on sole trader accounting. Now, this is all the way from source documents to generating a tax report, including VAT returns that are done either monthly or quarterly. We also have limited company accounting that is also geared towards preparing reports for the tax, for the taxman. The taxman, that is the ultimate, because when you do bookkeeping, fine, you lead to accounting, and then after financial accounting, the final stage is to be computing or determining the tax that should be prepared. Now, all these are based on mobile devices. A lot of people have got mobile devices. It reduces the investment that needs to be done. You don't have to spend a lot to do anything. Just do it on your mobile device. Do it anywhere. And that's it. Well, that is brought to you by the Academy of Practical Accounts based in Coventry in the UK. You can find us on these telephone numbers here, and this mobile number will also lead you to our WhatsApp. We think we can do a bit of teaching on mobile devices using the WhatsApp technology. So you can find us on this one, or you can send us an email at admin@practicalaccounts.com, and then this is our website. You can also find us on Skype, either Accounts Coaching or Moses at DIY Tax Return. And that's all we had for you regarding simplest accounts for everyone. And thank you very much.